He has cholera. I'm so sorry.
Papa, Mama, listen to me. I had a dream about the future. I will become an engineer, and I will be world famous for my inventions.
Nikola, my son, before you were born, I made a solemn vow to God that you would serve him. If he heals you, you will become a priest.
Papa, please. I know I will recover if I become an engineer, and then everything will work out for the best.
Oh God. Oh God, please forgive me. I beg of you, forgive me. Yes, fine. You can be whatever you want to be. I give you my blessing.
Mr. Tesla, I imagine because you are here now giving me this interview, that must mean you've recovered, thanks to God or someone else.
Yes, to the complete surprise of everyone in my village, I made a complete recovery in just a few days. I continued in school, at the Graz Institute and Paris University, becoming a successful electrical engineer. The illness led me to discover abilities I never suspected I had. I started to have these clear visions. Flashes of light began to cover the pictures of real objects. In time, they simply replaced my thoughts. My mind developed a new and different process. Using this process, I could construct an invention in my mind first, where I could perfect it. And only after designing it completely in my mind would I then test it in the laboratory. That's the way it's been, all of these years. Stop that. Writing down the story of my life, you will need a lot of ink. Here, you can use this instead. This is a device for recording sound. Quite a great invention. It was not me who invented it, no. It was that damned Edison. Say something.
What should I say?
Whatever. Say something.
What should I say?
Whatever. Now, let's start from the beginning. I first met Edison in Paris in the year 1882. I met him because of inept engineers. The Continental Company owned by Edison couldn't finish the construction of a power plant. A plant for the Strasbourg railway station. They promised to pay me $25,000 if I was able to figure out what the problem was. I managed not only to find the defect, but fix it. By spring 1884, the power plant was working. But when the time came to collect the $25,000 they promised me, the board of Continental refused to pay me. They told me that I had merely been a consultant to them. What crooks! I resigned at once.
Well, I heard that you actually worked for Edison again after that.
Yes, I was a young, vain fool. That first time should have taught me not to get involved with Edison again. I was even offered a chance to go to Russia at that time. I am Serbian. For me, it was more natural to become a Russian than an American. But Charles Batchelor from the Continental Company persuaded me. And you know what he had to say? He said he knew only two geniuses in the whole world, me and Edison. He promised me the chief engineer position of his company in America. He compared me to the great Edison, who was an idol to me. I was 28 and unemployed, so it didn't take much for me to completely lose my head. Obviously, I agreed. Edison was always a quick thinker. No wonder they called him Big Head behind his back. But he was a man without a conscience.
You'll start as a regular engineer. You'll be in charge of fixing the electric motors and DC generators.
But Mr. Batchelor promised me that
I don't care what he promised you. I employ people and I define what they do in my company, and you, young man, will have to work hard to prove your value to me.
Of course, I was never given the chief engineer position. I was an immigrant with 4 cents in my pocket. I had 2 options to choose from. I could beg in the street, or show that man my worth. I began to work like a man possessed. For 6 months, I worked myself to death repairing DC electric motors 18 to 20 hours a day. But the more I worked, the more I understood that direct current was not perfect at all. So I started to design my own concept of a motor which would be able to produce a new kind of current. Alternating current. As opposed to Edison's preference, direct current. Alternating current is changing its magnitude and direction all the time. These changes are called the frequency. But the most important difference between AC and DC is that the direct current power plant using the usual voltage can transmit electricity effectively really no more than 1 mile. This means that in order to illuminate New York using direct current power plants, we had to build a huge network of local stations. But with alternating current, this would not be the case. Using AC to illuminate New York, we needed only one big power plant.
I have been told that you've been working double shifts. Why is that? Can't you keep up with your own job?
I can. But I'm also working on the AC machine as well.
But AC makes no sense. My DC generator works perfectly.
Well, not quite.
Show me.
It could be improved. Take a look at what I've designed here.
You have some brains, but you're a foolish immigrant. Now hear this. If somehow your crazy ideas can manage to improve my inventions, I will pay you $50,000. Understand?
I'll do it.